Alrighty, we're back with another bracket challenge. We haven't done this in a while. And given everyone, we've just come back from summer holidays and, everyone's been traveling again after COVID. We thought, let's have a look at the most popular corporate holiday destinations and let's put them head to head and see what comes out on top. So we've got 8 here. The 8 that we've got are New Zealand, going back to your motherland, going to the US, Everest Base Camp, European summer, Japan, Southeast Asia trip with the boys, and a ski trip. So we'll put them head to head and we'll see how we go. All right, so the first matchup is going to be Southeast Asia versus a ski trip.
Dude, I didn't realize how many people skied until people had all these ski trips at work, apparently, dude.
I knew, over the summer, like December break, I know a number of people at work who went to Japan to go ski.
Dude,
I didn't even know that was possible.
Every second meeting I came back from work, it's either I went to Japan to ski trip or I want to go to Japan for a ski trip.
Actually, I know someone who went to Whistler.
Yeah,
I know someone who went to Whistler as well.
It's Japan, skiing. It's Whistler, it's France.
Oh, dude, France is like the top tier, top echelon of skiing. Like that's
like partner level. You're not getting there as a mid-tier employee. As a mid-tier employee, you're going to Canada, you go to Japan, you're going to Colorado. That's it.
Yeah.
I personally don't ski. The last time I went skiing was at Threadbow, and that was an interesting one because I didn't know how to ski, and they were like, "Do you want to pay $50 for lessons?" I was like, "No, I don't need lessons. All right, how hard can it be?
It's just gravity.
To just go down a slope." Obviously, you have to the whole idea is you slow your descent by going side to side, you weave in and out. That's how you're supposed to ski.
Yeah,
I didn't know how to do that, so I'm just gunning it straight down. This poor girl who I did it at a uni camp. And this poor girl is doing the side to side, and I'm coming like a rocket behind her.
Barreling straight down, bro. Subway Surfers over here.
It's like that episode of The Simpsons where Homer and Mr. Burns are stuck in the cabin. It's just coming straight down the mountain at speed.
And I didn't know how to stop as well. So how I stopped was I just threw myself to the right as like a crash landing. But she was going side to side, and I've clipped her skis, and then because obviously she's not expecting it, she's just tumbled, and she's knocked herself out in the snow.
Oh.
Her friend who was skiing with her comes down and is like, "What are you doing?" Like yelling at me, right?
Yeah.
And I'm panicking at this point. And I've done a hit and run because I've seen that she's got help, and I've gunned it back down the slopes.
Oh my God.
Then at the evening, right, she's gone and been taken to the hospital with that snowmobile. In the evening, her friend is basically asking everyone around, "Did you hear about the incident on the slopes today? Some guy just knocked this girl out and didn't even stop and say, 'How are you?'" And I'm sitting there who would do such a thing? Or a rat bag, that guy is.
Yeah, because they can't recognize
and
you.
run.
They can't recognize you. You're wearing
Correct.
Yeah.
You've got the mask.
It's the perfect
goggles.
crime.
Yeah, but did you need different gear the next day?
No, because it's all rent gear. I didn't own any of that stuff. But I will say, that incident aside, and the fact that I didn't even know how to ski, it was still really fun.
Does it compare to a Southeast Asia trip?
No. Southeast Asia is so much more fun.
Well, we went to Thailand and we sat in the hotel. We didn't even go out. We sat drinking changs, playing poker from the hours of 10 p.m. till 2 a.m.
Fantastic plans.
But you can do that at home.
Exactly.
No, but that's an indictment on us, right? We didn't want to go out, et cetera, et cetera. That's
we then
on
went
us.
to Bali again.
So wait,
that was fun.
what's to see in Thailand? Some elephants?
No, Thailand's beautiful, but the thing is we were very young and very scared of the world.
Okay.
So we were we're not going to go out because I don't know, someone sent a thing in the group chat where it's if you drink the alcohol in the clubs, you get moonshine and die.
You get roofied.
Yeah, we were hearing all those whispers,
and
right?
the ice is dirty, et cetera, et cetera. So you know what? Let's just buy a fucking slab of changies and we'll neck them at home.
Fantastic beer, just quietly changed.
But Southeast Asia in general, we're looking at Thailand, Indonesia, Vietnam. Dirt cheap compared to going a ski. How much is your ski camp, for example?
It was very expensive.
Give us a figure.
To rent the gear was $200. The ski pass itself was $400.
So $600.
The accommodation was expensive as well. So the money aside, it's a really fun time. And at the end, you're drinking hot chocolates at the top of a mountain, beautiful views. Let me just paint a picture of what a ski trip really is, right? You go down, do a bit of physical exercise, and at the end you enjoy a cold beer and a hot chocolate, and it's a delightful trip. That's the ski trip. Southeast Asia.
More debaucherous.
Yeah.
In the day, you go from beach to beach, you go for a swim, you do all that. And then at night,
just hitting up different clubs.
Bob's your
bars,
uncle, mate.
Yeah.
Beers for $1.
and you're trying to negotiate with little Balinese men, you know, a little motorbike trip back home for $5.
yeah.
With all the other foreigners as well.
Yeah, or you're at the markets putting on a calculator how much you want to pay, and like you're desperate to save 50 cents. You know what I mean? Like,
well, 50 cents could go a really long way for this guy.
Yeah. You're like, no, I won't pay $4.50. I want it for $4.
You're doing it for the thrill of the sport. He's doing it to survive.
I want this almost authentic Liverpool jersey for $10, and I won't hear otherwise. It's different, you know. It's horses for courses, you know.
Personally, I love Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
I think the money gets you to go so far.
Yeah.
Like you're living in like a beachside resort for $100 a night. You have like a waiter who comes and brings you food. Like you've got a pool there with a view. Southeast Asia to me is like spectacular.
Southeast Asia is for the common man. I feel like in the corporate settings, only the wankers are going on a ski trip. Is that a hot take? I don't know.
No, that's not a hot take. It's just, like I said, it's a very expensive trip. So if you are going, you are associating yourself with the upper class, but maybe that's what you want to do.
Yeah. Let's say you go into a meeting with your team. You're back from holidays. You say, I went on a ski trip. Rohit says, I went to Southeast Asia. Who you asking more questions? Who you frothing a bit more?
Honestly, probably the Southeast Asia. I want to know what, you know, nefarious things you got up to.
That's you and
Ski
your...
trip, drinking at a hotel, playing poker.
No. When we went to Bali, we went out and stuff. Like the beach clubs were so fun. I don't know. It was a nice time.
You know, if you say ski trip, I'm rolling my eyes. I'm being completely honest. I'm like, okay, here we go.
But you can... Maybe the ski trips, if you want to go ahead in social, like a corporate setting, you want to climb the ladder
That's
a bit
true.
more.
That
You just
is-
network with all the big wigs.
Bit more respect with it.
But objectively, as a fun time, because I don't know how to ski, so maybe I'm a bit off, but I love the beach. I love the snorkeling. I love the lifestyle. Like it's super chill. I'd put Southeast Asia through.
Well, I mean, yeah, you'd put countries over an activity.
No, but ski
Right.
trip you can do at any country. Like you can do in a lot of countries, like we said.
Okay.
It's a class thing, Kush. That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah,
It's a
true.
status
And what
thing.
class do you want to associate with Kush?
Well, I already know what Kush's answer is.
That is
Yeah.
true.
Kush is the ski trip every
Yeah.
day of the
France,
week.
mate.
I'm skiing, don't you worry.
What are we saying?
I think we can't be seen to be, you know, associating with those people who go on ski trips. So surely it's got to be the holiday for the common man. I'm taking Southeast Asia.
Stay true to ourselves, you know.
All right, next up, clash of two titans. We've got Japan versus a European summer.
Country versus country. I don't know.
But I'll say this, you know, we are going to Japan later this year, so I haven't been yet, but I have not met a single person who's spoken ill of Japan. You know, you can have issues with, I was listening to a podcast the other day where someone called Positano shit. Someone called the whole Amalfi Coast just shit. But I've never heard a single person say anything negative or bad about Japan. So yes, you're saying it's one country versus a continent, but wow, what a country.
That is
Bro,
true.
you had a European summer.
I did have European.
How did that go?
Not a summer.
Close enough to summer.
Awesome.
Closer than what we did.
Yeah. I had the time of my life. I thought it was a spectacular holiday
Yeah.
because of the fact that there's multiple countries. You can go hopping, this and that. I thought, and this is like a quintessential thing. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a quintessential holiday. 4 weeks you block out. You go to Europe. You have the time of your life in different countries, you know, talking to strangers that you're never going to see again. I thought it was
Find yourself.
fantastic. Yeah. I mean, like I've done Europe twice now.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Backs.
The first time was when I was like a poor uni student.
Okay.
And that was a very different holiday to like having a bit more money
Correct.
because I was working. So the holiday that I had was like still like relatively like not high class. It was just normal. I didn't have to stay at hostels this time. And I thought it was fantastic.
But you did book a hotel a year later.
Yeah, that happened.
When we're going to Japan soon, you know, the itinerary is being built. How do you think it compares then?
I think this is hard to compare because like what is the typical Europe? Because it depends on what countries you go to.
Yeah.
Typical European summer, let's throw it out there. Greece,
Yep.
Spain,
London,
Italy.
surely.
Italy, yeah.
London maybe,
Maybe not. Okay.
Spain.
Italy,
We're just saying the same
Where else?
countries all over again.
Anyway with
Croatia
sun.
type vibes.
Yeah. Okay.
Essentially
That-
anywhere with sun.
I didn't have that holiday. I've never had that holiday. You went to Croatia and had that holiday in Greece.
Unbelievable.
Yeah?
Unbelievable.
What's unbelievable about it?
Mate, the water, the natural landscapes that you see, you know, you can go from literally the countryside of Tuscany to the beautiful lakes and fucking waterfalls of Croatia.
Yeah.
You get beaches in Greece. The food is amazing. The people, alcohol is dirt cheap. They're free pour. You go get a drink. The guy just keeps pouring. You know, there's no measuring a shot out. It's just literally
Yeah. Until you say
his
stop.
arm gets tired, he's just pouring alcohol in there, and it's a lot cheaper than here.
One
Yeah.
thing negative about European summer is that everyone goes.
Yeah, it's packed.
So the crowds are crazy. Like if you go to Italy in June or July, it's not going to be really that fun of a time.
I know at work last year, I reckon over that period of June to August, I think every person under the age of 27 was in Europe at one point. And I'm talking like 20, 30 people.
Yep.
Like it is the most common holiday that anyone in corporate has done.
But I feel like you hear the same common feedback, like, yeah, France, not that great.
Why is that?
Kind of dirty, Why is that? Well, a lot of people say it's just not as, enlightening as they expected.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I swear with Tokyo, it's not just like, oh, it lives up to the expectations. No, it's even better, actually.
Yeah.
So that's just Tokyo, not even just Japan, just Tokyo itself,
Again, our friend finished a Japan trip. The moment he landed, booked a fucking new Japan trip for the next year.
Literally 3 days after he came back, he booked another one again.
Well, there you go. Like that's. Are you going to do another Europe trip the year after? Maybe actually, but like I think the fact that he did it 3 days after, man, he didn't even have time to settle in and marinate. He was like, done.
That is true. When I'm at work as well, I hear people go back to Japan repeatedly, I think that there's someone I was talking to, they're going to Japan next few weeks, and last time I went, last year. Whereas European summer, am I really hearing the frequencies like that?
I know a couple of people at work who are going again, running it back again this year.
It must be
to
nice.
Europe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a really tough one, to be honest, because the European summer is a quintessential holiday. Japan is, I don't want to say like an up and coming holiday destination.
I think it is up and coming, dude. I think it is.
Yeah?
A lot more the past 3-4 years I've been hearing.
That is true. I feel like the last few years it's really gained momentum.
Right?
Yeah.
I was at like my work yesterday. We do it was like a Friday catch up. And one of the questions is like, what's your dream holiday destination? And you chuck it like on the Zoom background. I would say 20 people had Japan
Really
as their dream
There you go,
destination.
man. There you go.
All right. Well, it's sounding like we're leaning towards one way then.
Oh yeah, but we haven't done Japan. But again, the reviews are so high. It's like 5 out of 5. Like you said,
dude.
like for example, Savine, soccer.
Yeah.
This guy had like a week off work.
Yeah.
He didn't book a European holiday. He went straight to Japan, Tokyo for 7 days. Said, I wish I stayed there for 2 weeks.
There you go, man. He wish he stayed there longer. I don't know.
Yeah, towards the end of the European month, you're like, I'm ready to come back home. But it sounds like these people who go to Japan are ravenous to stay or go back immediately. And it is closer to us as well.
That's true. It's close
Like
to
it's not
Australia.
on the other side of the world. There's only a couple of hours behind us, 10-hour flight.
So are we putting Japan over a European summer?
We might have to.
I think we are. Controversial maybe, but we're taking Japan. All right, third one. This one's going to be a weird one. We got Everest Base Camp versus the US of A.
What the fuck?
All right, this year or in the last 2 years, there has been a massive influx of two things, right? Corporates starting running, and every man's dream is now to climb Everest.
I have not heard of this second one at all.
Really?
Yeah. What do you mean? So wait, these guys just go to the base of Everest and just chill there?
It's still like a hike. Like it's still like a semi-difficult
Oh, I
trek.
was going to say, I think it's still a pretty difficult
It's a
trek.
difficult trek.
Dude, you got to train for it and stuff.
Nah, this is what they tell you. But like, if you have any sort of fitness, you can do Everest.
This
Base
might
Camp.
be probably one of the more hotter takes you've had here, Ro.
Well, that's how Ro views any sort of
It's
athletic.
a lot of altitude training you need as well, no?
Dude.
Because it's hard to breathe.
How
lungs,
thin is...
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You can't train that in Sydney. Where are you going to go? Kosciuszko. Just start breathing in.
Blue Mountain.
No, you get the masks, man.
No one's doing that. I think Everest. Okay, this is not a hot take. Everest Base Camp is not a strenuous activity, or not a very strenuous activity.
Okay, but like you're comparing again just an activity to a country now.
But it's Nepal. You're going to Nepal.
It is also the world's tallest mountain.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the USA holds just like it's the United States.
You
bro.
went to the USA. Kush, would you trade that for this experience Ro has just described?
Yes, I think some parts of the USA absolutely. New York, 100%. Boston, definitely.
There's so much of US you haven't explored.
Yeah,
is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, there's so much that you haven't explored. I don't know if it'll be good. Like there are some parts in USA I don't want to go back. Like LA. I'm not going to go back to it. That's a dirty ass place, man.
Really?
Yeah, I'm never going back to LA.
Look, I agree with Kush. I think this is quite clearly an easy one for the USA.
Yeah.
But I will say for the Everest Base Camp, I've seen a 300% increase in the amount of people that have done it on my Instagram. I saw one person before. This year I've seen 3 people do it.
Why? What's the thing with running as well? Why are more people getting into
Fitness,
running?
bro.
It's just
Self-help.
fitness.
Quarter life crisis.
Yeah.
Everest is also an interesting one because, like I said, okay, I'm going to stress this again. It's easy enough for the common man to do, but it's still like a cool thing to say that you did.
I think that's what it is.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like I went and
It's impressive to hear.
correct.
And it's like a bucket list thing as well. Like every man and their dog could go to the US right now if they wanted to. But to climb Everest is
Money bag.
Not climb Everest, just go to the base camp. Climbing Everest, that you get the Sherpas to do. Like really as well.
they'll carry you up there.
Yeah. Did you see the photo of the lion on the top of Everest?
What?
Yeah. It's becoming such a big thing now. There's lions on the top of Everest. So you have to wait and then wait your turn to go to the peak.
What, it's like waiting for the new iPhone on iPhone launched at the Apple Store.
Dude, I'm not kidding. Have a look at when we post this on TikTok, we'll take a photo in there. There's lions on the top of Everest. It's a popular thing to do.
Look, if someone said they climbed Everest over
That's
USA,
a fair play.
that is something. Okay, base camp. All right, whatever, man. I don't know. I don't see much there.
What's a US typical holiday that I've seen is like people who like rent a Ford Mustang and then do like a drive around the middle of the US. That seems really fun.
I was thinking more East Coast or West Coast.
Yeah, you just pick a coast and then you go up and down it.
That's literally all there is. And again, you won't be able to, even if you stay to one coast, you won't be able to see everything in your one trip. Like you will more than likely have to come back multiple times to do the other coast and then finish off the first coast if you wanted to do that.
I would say I don't think I've seen anyone at work go to the US recently. It's not a hot ticket item to go to the US.
Yeah, it isn't.
I've seen way more Europes and way more Japans.
Yeah, well, you won't get shot there. In the US, there's a high chance of getting the old Glock to your head, man.
Yeah. What would you rate your US holiday?
I thought it was fun. I thought it was a whole lot of fun. It's really tiring because you want to hit as much as you can, like all the destinations. But like, yeah, like I said, there's certain parts like New York and Boston. Definitely, I'd love to go back and check out more.
What were the highlights in those those places?
I think it's just the vibes. Literally the vibes in New York and Boston, which are polar opposites, but they work really well together. Like they're contradictory, but they work. You bit of yin and yang, you know what I mean?
You're talking about like salted caramel or some shit, bro. That's what you're talking about. Opposites, but work together.
Even in Orlando, dude, the theme parks that they have there, man, get your inner kid out. Have some fun there. You're not going to even finish all the theme parks. So you can't do one in one day. You might have to spend a week in the theme park.
When you got back, were you ravenous to go back again though?
Not ravenous. Like I definitely, I'd like to go back.
That's true. No, like Everest Base Camp, you're doing once.
That's true.
US, there's repeatability in the holiday.
When you go back next, what are you going to do now? What are the things that you had to do last time?
I definitely want to check out San Fran. Didn't check that out. I would love to go back to New York and Boston. And the other stuff that you don't get to see, like what are the other places, big places in America? I don't want to go to Texas. Fuck that.
Really? I think that is where I want to go.
I want to go to Texas.
Wait, where's the national park? The Yosemite? Is that Texas?
Yosemite's in
Yosemite?
No, Yosemite's in California.
California.
But I want to go like Texas and New Orleans and all that. I want to try like proper American barbecue.
Yeah, like
gumbo and all that.
Yeah, that's the one.
And like the type of desert nature that they have there, you know? Like see a moose, man.
Grand Canyon type vibe.
Well, yeah, exactly. So there's repeatability and new stuff that you will unlock when you go to.
All right, so clearly this is an easy win for the US, but I can see the
social credits. Maybe they're coming down with Everest.
All right, next one: New Zealand versus going back to the motherland.
I'll say this one: going back to the motherland is not a holiday. All right. It is like
sentence.
Not a jail sentence, but it's full of just family visits, like going to this family's house.
Box, isn't it? It's like you got to meet your family. You haven't seen your cousins for a while. You know, do that. Do a bit of that.
When you went recently, you said you loved it. You said you had a great time.
I did because I'm older and I learned to appreciate like meeting the cousins and stuff. And going back to India is super fun for me, but it's still very tiring.
So you did what our comments told us to do. Go back to your...
If you don't like it.
Yeah, leave it.
Get on out of here, boy.
I was like, I felt like a kid again because I was running around. I was like chasing goats in the village. Like my uncle has this like airsoft gun or like this gun that shoots like these really small bullets. And I was just going around just peppering, trees and stuff. It was really
trees,
fun.
you reckon?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm glad you thought about that one.
But New Zealand, man, it's the world's best nature. That's what they say, The South Island.
Milford Sound.
There's a reason why Lord of the Rings won best cinematography multiple times, man.
Just because of those
damn mountains. Yeah.
Look, my cousins live in New Zealand, so I visit them. They live in the North Island, but there was one time we went to the South Island. Beautiful scenery. Like I remember seeing snow-capped mountains for the first time in my life. Changed.
Unbelievable.
Revolutionized.
Pristine.
Yeah. It's really pretty.
It's like when they describe, this is a clean kind of look. New Zealand has that, man. That kind of cleanliness to the nature.
Like untouched as well.
Yeah.
Is it too close to Australia? Like
that was honestly going to be my reason.
I don't know. I think this is just literally just vibes that you get coming back from the motherland. Maybe some cultural appreciation that you never get.
I think going back to motherland is quintessential for like
dude.
Everyone.
I'm going back in March. Going back to the motherland.
Exactly. I'm planning going back into the year, mate.
There you go.
And then everyone at work probably planning to go at some point.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be like relaxed. I don't know.
It's not a holiday destination. It's not a holiday destination. I mean, like, okay, technically it is, but like, I'm not treating it as a holiday destination.
But let's say, all right, so you'll go back, you'll see your family, but then you could go to other parts of India where you've never been, for example.
Well, yeah, we are actually doing that. We were
so
2 days.
Where are you going?
We're going to Dharamshala. So, see,
dude, that place looks sick.
Yeah, that's hectic.
Like, that's on par with New Zealand, dare I suggest, in terms of like picturesque.
No, it is. You go like up north to like Dharamshala, Kashmir, like all these places.
You reckon
very beautiful.
Up near Nepal, like where you get to like the Everest and all that. Right.
Yeah. 2 for 1.
I don't know. I still think New Zealand, yes, it's very similar, very close to Australia. Man, the scenic stuff in New Zealand is unreal, dude. Every time someone comes back from New Zealand, it's not like, I don't think it's like the Japan thing where it's like, oh, it's fucking amazing. This is the best thing I've ever seen. But like every time you hear, it's like, yeah, it lives up to it. Like the nature.
The good thing about like the motherland is, from a work point of view, if your country allows it, you can actually save your leave and work from over there. I know multiple people who went back to India, for example, and they were I'm pretty sure you did as well.
I did it, yeah.
So
and you get to see a family. Like it's a nice time. It's not a holiday, but as Manny said, it is quintessential. And I would choose that over New Zealand.
I absolutely picking that.
I would choose that over New Zealand as well.
Well, I'd be picking New Zealand any time of the day.
We'll ask you when
I'm going to Hobbiton and I'm drinking. Well, I haven't gone to New Zealand, but
we'll ask you how your motherland trip went when you're back. Into the semifinals, we have Southeast Asia versus Japan.
Oh, well,
damn.
This is just two sides of the same coin. No?
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
Isn't Japan in Southeast Asia?
Very different vibes.
Very different vibes, but
like I said, we're grouping the Thailands, the Vietnams, the Indonesias,
Cambodias,
Japan. Let's talk about economy, cost.
Still much, much, much more cheaper to go to Southeast Asia.
Even if you're hitting those 3 countries versus Japan?
Correct. Much cheaper. The food, I would say it's on par between both the areas.
Nah, dude, I don't think I can say that.
Doesn't Japan have like more restaurants than like New York City? Isn't that like an actual stat? So like, I don't think
the restaurants are tiny, so there's like thousands of them.
You can't be comparing to square meters now all of a sudden.
When we went to Bali, I was very either whelmed or underwhelmed by the food on offer.
No, I mean,
it was all right, but it wasn't like, it didn't stand out.
Yeah, but what about like Thai food?
Dude, that's a government plant in and of itself.
What do you mean? What?
Back in the 2000s, here's a history lesson. Back in the 2000s, the government invested so much money into designing like stereotypical restaurants from small end, middle end, and high end to then export around the world, right? That's why in the 2010s-ish, there's a spike in Thai food.
Is this an actual thing?
It's an actual thing. Look it up. Look it up.
Yeah, I've heard this as well.
You look it up.
The Thai government is like, we want tourism. We want to like promote Thai culture. Okay. We're going to give you like the blueprint to running a Thai restaurant, what foods you do, like the westernized pad Thais, that sort of stuff. And we'll tell you how to do it. Go around the world and just set up your shops. We'll give you a little bit of money to start up, but we want Thai food to become really popular.
Some of the dishes are created for this very purpose. That's why a lot of them have a similar name as well. Like Thai puns.
Thai I am, bow tie.
Because it's a blueprint.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've been done by a government scheme.
Well, I'm all for government propaganda. So,
In our rankings previously, I think we put Japan food as like number one.
We did.
Yeah, so don't chat to me about a pad Thai over Japanese food.
Again, man, it's like people saying no one has said a bad thing about Japan, man. No one has said a bad thing about Japan.
Oh, have I heard anything bad about actually.
Yeah.
Yes, you have, man. Yes, you have.
Bali Belly, mate.
That is true.
One of.
Yeah.
Chappelle Gorby.
No, well, she deserved it.
The Bali 9.
They all did the crime.
Oh, I didn't say that they didn't, but I'm just saying.
Is it a Japan 9? There might be.
I think Japan is pretty strict as well.
No, it is. Yeah. Have you heard? I don't know if this is like a bit of devil's advocate now for Japan. Like, it's quite heavily racist. I don't know if you've.
They are.
That's true.
Yeah, they do look at your skin complexion. I
think you can't become a Japanese citizen unless you have Japanese blood.
Yeah.
How can they prove that?
They look at your ancestry.
Would you rather? Yeah, that's an interesting point. I feel really at home in Southeast Asia.
I was going to say, it's quite the opposite. They're very hospitable. They'll see you and they'll be like, oh, please come in, blah, blah, blah. They'll treat you like a king.
Yeah, because you could change their fortunes, mate. That's why.
True.
Japan, you got your onsens.
Yep.
But apparently you can't have tattoos in onsens. So
yeah, true.
Very strict, maybe. I mean, obviously it doesn't apply to us, but I'm just saying they are strict with their rules,
culture and the traditions. Yeah, fair enough.
Again, like I don't know, these are like minor things that sort of get hidden underneath the I'm going back to Japan. So like
Japan has so many different cities as well, so much stuff.
And you get the most of like you can do cultural stuff there, you can do skiing, the food's good there. At the end of the day, Southeast Asia is beach, resort.
If you don't like warm weather and swimming, I mean,
yeah, exactly.
It is
you're not loving Southeast Asia, whereas Japan, yeah, I feel like you can find anything.
Yeah, but
we don't like anime and all that, but we found a million other things that we like.
Yeah.
Whereas someone else love all the anime stuff.
And you got like the theme parks and stuff like that in Japan as well, which doesn't have it in Southeast Asia.
Sen's got his maid cafes that he can frequent.
the love hotels.
There's another one like similar to a maid cafe where like the women are also like scantily clad, but apparently they're ripped as well.
Oh,
like,
really?
Jacked.
Let's go to that.
Zaddy's done his research.
Someone at work actually told me.
Oh,
yeah.
A friend told you.
All right, what are we doing? Now we're taking, it sounds like again, Japan is going through here.
I think quintessentially, like you said, like you're right. Southeast Asia is the same holiday.
Yeah.
It's you go to a beach club, you sit, have cocktails on the sand, you go swimming, snorkeling, job done. Japan, you got more things that you can do. Also, no one said a bad word. Japan, straight through.
All right. Next up, next semi-final, we have the US versus the motherland.
We didn't say this before, but there is a high chance of getting shot in the US.
I think we said it about 3 times actually.
No, but we still sent it through, you know what I mean?
Yeah, obviously.
I don't think India's that safe either, though. You're not going to get shot, but you might get, kidnapped and whisked away potentially.
That is true. That is
Your
true.
organs harvested.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that's another thing for Southeast Asia, just quietly.
Yeah.
One of my friends, he was telling the story about their friend who woke up from a full moon party with her organ, like with her kidney missing.
What?
Hey?
Yeah. Haven't I told you this story?
No.
What
the fuck?
Yeah. Okay. So
This isn't funny, bro. This is actually pretty fucked up.
it's very messed up, but you can only laugh. So she went to a full moon party, got like sauce out of her mind, woke up in a bathtub with like stitches on her stomach, went back to Australia, and she was missing a kidney when she checked.
What
That's
the
fucked.
shit?
That's actually fucked.
So obviously, Japan, you're probably not going to do that.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. No, but in Japan, the Yakuza will probably chop your thumb off or some shit.
Are they real? I don't know if they still do. They exist.
Yakuza,
Still?
absolutely. According to John Wick, they still exist.
But anyway, sorry. US versus the motherland.
It's got to be the US, surely.
It's just think about from a holiday destination.
Yeah.
The US has just so much to go. Like, how often are you going to be visiting? I haven't gone to the motherland for like 10 years. That's why I'm going to the motherland, because it's been such a long amount of time.
But don't you feel more in touch when you go back to the motherland? Like, this is your people?
All that self-awakening bullshit, that belongs to Maslow, man. That doesn't belong
not
to
for
me.
you.
No, man.
What about your extended family, your aunties, your uncles, your grandparents?
Yeah,
Nothing.
I'll say hi to them. You know?
That's what you do with your workmates. You say hi to them.
But they invented Zoom for a reason. FaceTime, if they really want to
I
talk to
still
them.
talk to them. Like, it's not like I'm prohibited not to talk to them.
Someone made a good point. When's the last time someone went to the US, man? I don't know anyone in my work that's gone to the US.
Actually, yeah. No, I can't. I can't remember anyone who's gone to
The only
the
person I know that's gone to the US is him.
That is
True.
true.
I went to Hawaii last year as well.
Yeah. Kind of counts.
US,
Kinda counts.
I don't know.
Modest.
I do know a few people who have gone to the US who are planning. I know a couple of people who are going to the US in August this year. So it's like it's there. Not as common as, the UK trip or like Japan for sure. Absolutely not.
Every second week I'm hearing someone's gone back to their hometown.
I think
or
US
whatever.
is just also more expensive. Like, it is more expensive. The motherland trip, dare I say, you might make profit. Like, the grandparents will be giving you money. They'll be flooding you with money.
That is true. And you get free accommodation because you're staying with family.
Yeah, absolutely. Free accommodation. You won't even know Ubers potentially. You might, get driven around. So budget wise, I think the motherland could be on. So,
But also, like, whenever at work, if someone says they're going back to the motherland, some idiot will always ask, "Oh, are you going back to get married?" I know, because I'm the one who's usually asking that question. I know someone went to India recently, and someone asked, "Oh, like, will there be elephants at the wedding?"
straight out of the blue, just that.
Oh, sorry. They said they said they were going for a wedding.
Oh,
And
okay.
someone asked, "Oh,
Will there
can
be
you send
elephants?"
photos? Will there be elephants?" And I'm
Right.
like, "Yes, there will be." But like, it's a very forward question to ask.
No, that's fine.
And
You got
also,
it right.
dare I say, motherland weddings absolutely slap. They go
They
for
do.
like
Oh,
a
yeah.
week. You don't sleep. I mean, I had like someone at work who wasn't able to take days off in his leave, but he was coming back from weddings at the motherland, and boy, he looked very, very hungover when
Worse
he
for wear.
Oh, just terrible.
But that's a good point. Like, a lot of people go to their motherland to find a wife. Like they don't get married, but they're doing like the matchmaking process. Like they're going and meeting girls and that sort of stuff. When was the last time you heard someone come back with a US bride?
That's true.
Yeah.
You come back with a family. How good?
Look, this is literally the question: holiday destination versus a bit of vibes, bit of self-actualization. That's all it really is, to be honest. I still think as a holiday destination, I'm picking the US. Like I will go back to the US.
I would probably agree with Kush there.
My hand goes up for the motherland.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I still think that the motherland isn't really a holiday. It's more of like duty. Like you're serving, your family.
There is definitely a bit of duty in that. Absolutely. But like, there's also a bit of like, you do want to see your family. You absolutely want to see, you want to revisit the past, like 100%. There's absolutely a bit of that. But are you going to go there every 2-3 years?
I think, yeah.
Well, okay. If I tell you, right, gun to your head right now, Ro, and I said all expenses paid trip to either India or to the US, what are you choosing?
US.
Okay, there you go. That's the end of story there.
The segment could have been quite quick, actually.
So we're saying US goes.
US goes.
Said she just brought a gun and get us an answer.
Tell me, where are you going?
All right. And now the final. We have Japan versus the US.
Where have I seen this before?
Well, this is a simple one for me.
I think this is also pretty simple as well.
Let me go out to bat for the US then for a second. Isn't there a stat that only like 10% or 20% of Americans have a passport?
Yeah, it's like pretty low.
Because like why
they never leave?
I was going to say, you don't actually need to leave the US. Like if you want a beach holiday, you can go to Hawaii, you can go to Miami, Florida, California. If you want to go theme park, same thing. You can go to California, Orlando. If you want to skiing, you can go to Colorado. If you want to go see, nature, you got Yosemite, you've got the Grand
All the other
Canyon.
national parks, there's heaps.
If you want culture, you can go down to the south, you can go to New York. So you don't actually need to leave the US. Everything, and also the US is low-key the cultural capital of the world.
There's a reason why they call US quite literally the country of the world, country of the globe, man. Because it's got everything. The US has everything.
Yeah, okay. But I'm not an American who's living there for years. I can go every now and again. This is one trip.
Yeah.
How am I doing all that?
But I'm saying like with that one trip, you can choose you can go to the US, you can choose, all right, I want a beach holiday. Oh, I want a theme park holiday. I want to get a bit of culture.
Also a bit of nature. You can absolutely
nature,
do that
exactly.
as well.
Yeah, but I can't wear a
You go shoot
kimono,
some
man.
guns,
Look, can't wear a kimono by the temple and take a photo, brother.
I'll probably say that I think Japan should be the winner here, but I'm saying that US definitely does have some very good positives.
Yeah, look, again, it comes up. People in Japan have never said a bad thing. Like in the US, I have said a bad thing. I didn't like LA.
Did you ever encounter any racism in the US?
No, I never encountered any racism in the US. But like there were moments where I definitely felt unsafe in the US. Absolutely. Even in daylight, just walking around and
really,
you see some shifty people walking by and you might think, hey, what's in that pocket of yours? Just chill a bit. You never know, man. US.
Strapped up.
Yeah. Can feel unsafe. Also, US is the worst coffee scene, I got to say. Come from Australia. Like,
it's filthy.
It's terrible. You have to mention that. I don't know about the Japan's coffee scene, but.
Matcha?
I reckon it's probably much better. Better.
But these are too specific. Like I could say the US has a better jazz scene than Japan.
Yeah.
So like,
well, we don't know about the Japanese jazz scene, so it's too early to say that.
One negative about Japan, though, is it's very small. It's hard to go in big groups.
Yeah.
Like there's the restaurants with like literally between 6 to 12 seats. And if you're in a group of 8, as we are.
Yeah, I was about to say, you got with a group of 8, dude.
Yeah, we book out the whole place.
Shit.
We have to book out, back to back, like next door to each other restaurants. Also, I'll say the Japan Rail, dude. Every day I hear the price goes up. It started with $400. Get a JR pass. It's now $500. Now $800. It's going to be $1,000 probably by next week.
But you don't
It's
hear
because
bad
of the
things.
innovation, man. The bullet.
Yeah, you don't hear bad
Shinkansen.
things, bro. You don't hear bad things about the bullet train,
No.
man. In fact, they made a movie called Bullet Train, which was set in Japan. So there you go.
I've heard even the food on the bullet train is banger. Like, better than the regular food here in Sydney. Like, imagine if someone offered you food here on a Sydney train. I'd be like, fuck off. Bro.
Yeah, jog on. Like in the country trains, like with when you go to like Armidale and stuff like that, they have like a service where they offer food, but it's just like pies and
Yeah.
you know,
4 and 20.
yeah, that sort of stuff. You're not getting, I don't know, like
Bento.
sashimi.
Look, I think this is
Yeah.
pretty simple. This is pretty simple. If you're just judging by what people have said, who have already traveled, and also like what trip your guys are looking most forward to, it's Japan, right?
Also, monetary wise, the US dollar, fuck me, we'd get pummeled by it.
I
over
should
there.
have gone when I was, like 12 or 13. Could Could have done really well there when I was a kid.
Dude, I still regret not buying like money when I was 13
Yeah.
when the Australian dollar was $1.05 or whatever against the
Beautiful.
US dollar. Would have made
Beautiful. Could have bought a lot of
hundreds of
good
dollars.
stuff, man.
The other thing's like, oh, I'm such an idiot. When I was 12, I should have just bought a house.
Yeah.
It was so cheap back then.
You should have bought like what $12 worth of the USD when you were
Yeah.
12.
turns into 15.
Why am I
here.
learning about Pythagoras? I should be learning about the economy.
All right. So what are we saying? Is Japan the ultimate corporate destination, holiday destination?
I think it is. Everyone goes and
Everyone loves it.
everyone loves it.
We'll see you there in 2024.